Hello. In this video, you will learn how to set up your system environment in order to efficiently program with Python. Python is a programming language that can have a myriad of system dependencies for some projects. Common dependencies include specific library versions and OS or operating system variables. For example, Mac, Windows, Ubuntu. They can all have unique system variables linked to a specific Python project. To manage our dependencies, it is most common to use a virtual environment. A virtual environment isolates projects by creating a virtual container with all of the project's dependencies. This is important because if project A requires library X version 1.0 and project B requires library X version 2.0, generally you cannot have both versions installed directly on your computer. To mitigate this, we create two virtual environments, one for project A and one for project B. This would prevent any dependency error and allow the two projects to coexist. However, setting up virtual environments can be challenging for any developer. This is where IDEs come in. IDEs are integrated development environments, which are essentially software platforms for making our lives easier when it comes to programming. One of the most popular Python IDEs is PyCharm. So let's go ahead and download PyCharm from the internet. We'll use Chrome, but you can use any browser of your choice. And the first thing we'll do is search up PyCharm download. And this is a software platform provided by JetBrains. So we want the free version, which is here in black. Select your operating system, which it should always select the correct one for you. And before you download, please ensure that you meet the system requirements, which we can view here. Now, before we install our downloaded file, let's make sure that we have the correct Python version installed on our operating system. By default, many operating systems will have Python 2.7 installed. However, this version is no longer professionally supported worldwide, so we will need to go ahead and install Python 3 using the terminal. And for Windows users, the terminal is the equivalent of the command prompt. To check our Python version, we can simply go and type in Python. And this will tell us the version that is currently in. We see that Python 2.7 in this case is not good enough for our case. So what we want to do is install Python 3. Let's exit out of here using Control or Command Z. Now, using our code snippets, we can actually go and download Python 3 directly from the easy setup. Once this is done, we should check which Python version we have now, using the exact same method. Notice how it's still Python 2.7. This is because Python, the argument, by default, will always show you Python 2.7 if this is the first Python version installed on your computer. To see our newly installed Python 3, we type Python 3, which is now available and showing us our newest version. Fantastic. Additionally, it is important to install the package management system. Once this is done, anytime you wish to install a module or a library for Python on your computer, you would simply type in pip, which is the Python package management system, 3 to correspond to the version that we just installed, which is pip3, And then you would say install and then library name, whatever the library name is. So for example, we will install NumPy, which is a very popular Python library, specific for doing many arithmetics. And you can see in our case it was already installed. Fantastic. Now, let us install PyCharm, which we previously downloaded. You will find this in your downloads. Simply click on it, execute on Windows, or simply double-click for the DMG file to start installing. On Macs, we will drag into the applications. On Windows, you don't have to worry about doing this step. Fantastic. Just like that, PyCharm is installed. Now, we'll open up PyCharm, which we can find in our applications. Do not import settings, as you do not have any previous settings to import. Accept the agreement once you thoroughly skim through it. Now this step is completely up to you and will determine how much of your data PyCharm or JetBrains, the corporation behind PyCharm, will look into. So let's say you've never used PyCharm. We'll check that one. You can select light or dark, really up to you. I'll go with dark. Nope, keep that unchecked. Now, you don't need any of these additional libraries since we are only going to be using Python. So let's start using PyCharm. Now, we'll create a new project and we will call it setup. It is important to set the correct project interpreter. Here you can see all the available interpreters, which correspond to the different Python versions we have installed. Here we have all these different ones, but the ones that we are concerned right now are the newest Python version, which we just installed, which will be right here. And we do want to inherit global side packages. And in this case, we are only focusing on one project, so we will now make this available to all projects. And you can see here automatically it creates a virtual environment folder for us. So let's see what that does. When you first start using PyCharm, you will get these tips every time you open it, unless you uncheck this box. These are very, very useful for multiple shortcuts, but we will not cover that in this video. So here's the virtual environment library that we discussed previously. And you can see it has all of these files in here, which we didn't create. They were automatically created for us to accommodate any dependencies for a project. Congratulations! You have successfully completed one of the most important initial steps to becoming a programmer. You have installed the ideal programming language, Python, a powerful IDE, PyCharm, and have set up your first workspace. In the next lesson, you will learn about modules and how to run your first Python program.